No Borders NVDR followers. Joseph Snyder here, CEO of No Borders, bringing you this bi-weekly shareholder update video. I want to thank, as always, thank you guys all for coming and watching these videos and engaging with us. I am currently in my office, my home office. Normally I record up front, but I've got kids and things and all kinds of things going on there today. So I'm recording from my home office. So you have my friends here, the Ninja Turtles, and we've got the whiteboard, which my wife was nice enough to bubble paint up because I actually can't do that. I am not artistic at all. So I am rocking my NBDR Metadent shirt today. It's very nice, very nice. But I am thrilled to come to you guys today. You know, we have had such an impactful couple of weeks since we last shared information, and you know, I do get to kind of dig into all the things that were going on and share them with people via these videos. These are something that we've done for about a year and a half now, very consistently. Initially, we were doing them every week as we went through the reverse merger process with No Borders and became a listed company. And that was a lot. And then, you know, there's these cycles that you need where you just need to put the boots on the ground and get some damn work done. And so we branched that out to every 2 weeks. That's been pretty consistent for us. We've stayed on deadline there, never missed one. So we're 100% on the communication strategy there. But what we've been doing, and we're going to continue doing that, by the way. So we're sticking with every 2 weeks for now. We believe it's a nice, consistent communication cycle. We intersperse that with press releases and information releases that go out via MediaWire and also via OTC Markets Wire. So, you know, and I kind of back through that communication cycle a little bit because I am speaking to a lot of new potential investors and a lot of new interested parties who maybe haven't seen us for as long as some of y'all who have been around forever. And you know, we really see that difference. As I talked about on my last video, for this quarter, one of our real key focus points as an organization is explaining our company and our mission and our idea and our brands to an ever larger audience of potential OTC market investors and interested parties, such as, you know, customers and consumers and investors, right? So in taking that viewpoint, you know, some of the things that we do as an organization, some of the expertise that our teams bring to the table works very, very well for engaging with and communicating with groups of investors, just like it works for engaging with or communicating with prospective clients for medical equipment, dental equipment, CBD product lines, some of these things that we have going on. So what we've done since then is we've really worked to deliver our message to the right audience and to put these videos and some other videos and information pieces that we're building out right now to put those in front of larger and larger groups of people. To that end, the last video we did, the shareholder video update that we did, which was the July 4th one, which was 2 weeks ago, currently has 10,000 views on it. And so that shows us that we're able to reach these groups of folks, and with the metrics that we're looking at, of those 10,000 views, we're at roughly 10% that actually finish the video through to the end. So that's a large number of new people getting a lot of information about our company direct from me, direct from the source. And we want to make sure that we take a couple of cycles during this shareholder update video and the next shareholder update video, and then into the future as an IR strategy focus. But really that we take a cycle down, kind of go back to the beginning a little bit, talk about the things that we've done, talk about the reasons why we think that we're a little bit different, and talk to these folks who haven't heard me do this over and over and over again, which, by the way, is all on YouTube. So you can go back through if you're a new interested party, or you're somebody that found us by clicking around on the interwebs. please, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, please, and then go back through and jump through a few of the videos that we've done. There's something to be said for consistency, especially in the OTC and the penny stock market. I understand the game that we are playing. I understand how we engage with the market. I understand all of those kind of nuances. I believe we have a good understanding of these things. So consistency is very, very important. And with consistency, you can go backwards and you can look at, hey, what did we say? What did we do? What did we say? What did we do? And I'm very confident that anybody that's new, that's running into us or has questions about us or is looking at the things that we're doing, will be able to go back and look at these videos that we put together and look at a timeline of actionable successes and impacts that we did exactly what we said we were going to do every single time. Did all of it work out the way that we wanted? Not necessarily. It never does, but I'm really happy with the results that we have right now and with the structure that we have and the strategy that we have. We are focused on scaling our value by acquiring and deploying product lines, and by supporting those product lines with cutting edge technology, and by acquiring and deploying technological solutions and consultative software development, things like that. That's a lot of humble jumbles of stuff, right? And it's not as simple as saying, well, we make this widget, and this widget is, acquired by this number of people, and here's our trajectory for 10 years of how many of these widgets we can sell over 10 years. We're not that kind of an investment. We're not that kind of a company. We're different by design. The design of this is, as you can see, I'm at my home office, right? We are a remote work company. We believe that the technology that exists today, the communications tools, I'm talking to you on one of them now, that these technologies and tools that exist today allow us to run an organization where people don't have to go sit in an office together, and you can still be very successful. And we have done that well. We have built multiple brands. We have launched multiple brands. We have intellectual property rights that are filed. We have done all of these things without a physical office that people go to. We've done all of these things as a remote work organization. And we have been very blessed to have amazing people come join that journey. But additionally, there's strategic reasons for that. It's a low-cost model. We're not paying for office space. We're not paying all these overhead costs that exist when you do that. Additionally, we're not paying lots of moving and staff acquisition costs, right? We're able to get people, bring them into the organization, and they are where they are. We've got people in Texas and New York and Denver and obviously Phoenix, California. We have people all over the place, and our manufacturing is set up that way. Our product fulfillment is set up that way. We really have proven out the fact that we can run an operation this way, that we can run it effectively, and that we can push growth with a remote work model. So that's fantastic. And it has allowed us to bring on people who wouldn't be able to move or wouldn't be able to do X, Y, and Z, and say, hey, you know what? All you need is a MacBook and a cell phone, and hit your deliverables. We're good to go. That's a win. And it's part of the founding ideologies that we go back to all the way at the beginning, right? We believe that distributed ledger and blockchain technologies are a better way to transact business. And we believe that we're being proven right on that. Every day and of course, like, crypto goes up, crypto goes down. Do we have exposure to crypto? Yes, we do. We accept cryptocurrencies on both of our live e-coms today. You can go on to metadentsupplies.com. You can completely build out a dental office or a chain of dental offices, and you can pay in Bitcoin. You can do that right now today. And we're happy to receive the Bitcoin, by the way. So we do have exposure to crypto. We're not holding a ton of crypto on our books. I don't think that it's a material thing for us at this point. But it does put us as a front runner in these industries saying, hey, you know what? These are real world applications of uses of blockchain technology, because that's how we see crypto, right? It's a use of blockchain. Blockchain is, a distributed ledger, a secure distributed ledger system, and crypto is a utilization of that. And we're seeing those other utilizations start to get more traction than they had a couple of years ago, when everybody was doing ICOs and just raising money with crypto, and the actual enterprise players and the institutional players and things were really trying to look at this thing and figure out, hey, how do we use this effectively moving forward? And I think that there was a gap there between what our understanding was of what crypto did and where the market was ready to deploy. And we've even seen just this last week, Samsung has announced, they're exploring some different blockchain applications. If we go backwards to when we began and really look at a successful application, I think Maersk is one of the greatest examples. You talk about an international shipping conglomerate that has the ability to force its partners in supply chain into utilizing this platform, and I think it's been very effective for them. I think that they're very happy with the results, and I think that industries moving forward are going to start to look at those results that these other early beginners, early entrants into the deployment have had. And that's where we're going to start to see additional demand on the blockchain side, whether that be on the consultation side, whether that be on the software development side, or whether that be some form of partnerships or deployments that we look at doing in the future. Still something that we feel we have a unique background of, a technological grasp of, not only how to build on blockchains and code in Solidity and these different things that the No Borders Labs teams kind of has in their arsenal, but also from a perspective of the industry at large and how we see these things playing out, and how they work in financial services. And that brings us back to our intellectual property. We've talked about IP from the very beginning. There's a long road to getting IP. Everybody likes the buzzword and everything else, but the fact of the matter is that it's a fairly expensive, and it's a long process. We have been working on how we want to protect the things that we see as really big, impactful, important areas for us in the future. And one of those areas is blockchain fintech. And so we did just receive, and we had a press release just about it, so you can go look at that. But we did just receive a trademark deal for No Borders funding under blockchain fintech and software as a service with blockchain and distributed ledger applications and all these different kinds of things. And you can read that PR, and there's a list of the stuff. And I apologize, I don't have it in front of me, but these things are areas where we believe that there are scaled opportunities in the future, that we have scaled opportunities in the near future over the next 12 to 18 months, and that those opportunities are getting larger as this technology gets older and as more enterprise level entrants work with it and play with it. IBM's done a great job of propagating utilization. Like I said, Maersk has done a great job with theirs. There's smaller company blockchains, and there's a Hay company, an Alfalfa company blockchain that was done with blockchain consultants and those guys out in Phoenix. That's real world deployment and very, very interesting. There's a bunch of use cases around identity security and things like that. For us, with our background's depth in real estate management, real estate investment, and finance, we see a lot of opportunity there still to potentially bring funds together, to bring partnerships together, to deploy financial services products and financial services packaging and things like that on these technologies. So we have been awarded an intellectual property from the USPTO. You can go look it up under No Borders Funding, No Borders Inc. The trademark filing is under No Borders Funding, and those things move forward. With those core beliefs around technologies, around Web3 technologies and 5G and blockchain and how these things work together, with those core beliefs and a belief that we have a unique viewpoint on these things, being real world business people, not just software developers, being people who understand supply and demand, being people who understand how to deploy into market. We believe that that gives us a competitive advantage moving forward. And we've begun to see really over the last 3 or 4 months, and obviously as crypto goes up, things get hot, and crypto goes up, crypto goes down. But the fact of the matter is, when crypto's up, there's more demand and interest around, what does blockchain do and how do we use it today and how do we move forward? So we've definitely seen in the last few months an uptick in general interest around the board and specific interest on some projects. And we have bid with some of our partners on some projects, and those are all interesting things, and we don't talk about projects or size of project or scope of project until the lines are signed and the checks are cashed. Again, different by design. We're not talking about stuff that we haven't done. If I tell you we've bid on a project, that means the paperwork is done, we've signed off on it, we've sent it into the place, and that's where we are. If we tell you that we won a bid, well, that means that we're done. We won it, it's done, it's signed, it's sealed, it's delivered. We're not hoping on it. So you can know that when we say something, it's an action thing. We just released information yesterday about our platform sales task force. Michael Friedman was amazing guy. This guy has taken multiple products to multiple 7 figures in revenue on platforms like Amazon and platforms like eBay. He's an amazing guy, super humble. Knows his area, knows what he does very, very well. And we did. We just talked about it yesterday. It was Amazon Prime Day yesterday. Happy Prime Day for all, 150 million of you that went out and spent a bunch of money. I love that corporations can make up holidays now. Like Alibaba has Singles Day and Amazon has Prime Day. And we're just like, Christmas and New Year's and birthdays weren't enough, I guess. So, happy Amazon Prime Day, but we did. We announced the launch of our platform sales task force on Prime Day. And same day, we had followers and shareholders and customers go on Amazon and look, and boom, there's some of our products are listed already. So when we're talking about stuff, these aren't hopes and dreams for us. These are tangible things. We did the thing. We're doing the thing is in motion. And in cases like Amazon, the thing is already generating revenue before anybody even hears about it. I believe that makes us different. And I know that we have to deal with proving that out. Just like last year, we had to prove out whether or not the software development portion of what we bring to the table, the outbound software development portion, whether or not that piece was viable for us to stand on, right? And what we learned was, and I sat in a room, and as a matter of fact, I remember the moment that I knew that, hey, we had to go put our products part of our plan. By the way, we have a plan, right? So, the products part of our plan was always about proving out that our grasp of technology, our grasp of digital engagement, say that word a bunch of times, our grasp of digital commerce and driving down customer acquisition costs, driving up lifetime customer values, that our ability to do that within markets was profitable and impactful and revenue generating and a lot of fun, right? So, but we started with software development because at that moment we were seeing what we're seeing again in some levels now, which was, crypto was really, really high. There was a lot of demand. There was a lot of interest. And so, but I remember the moment when I was sitting in a room in San Diego at San Diego's supercomputing at the university, and I was in the room with some of the biggest names in data, right? I mean, companies that are at the top. And there was a room full of people We had a one-day symposium. I mean, it touched on everything with experts from the art world and VPs from companies like Cray Supercomputer and Samsung and Google and all of the big players that would come into San Diego and sit down there's a San Diego Supercomputer data event that's held once a year. And so we got invited to that. And I left that event and I called the team, and I literally left that event in San Diego. I drove overnight to Phoenix in order to sit down in person with the team. Remember, we're remote work. But I called the team when I left and I went, we have to move up the products focus, because I just sat in a room full of people that could write any checks that they wanted to write to get projects tested or projects built or whatever, right? And nobody currently really understands how to greenlight something and how to measure a success metric on these things. And that's probably a sales hurdle that we can't overcome today, right? So with that realization, we moved our phase over to focusing on product deployment, multiple verticals, attacking it, generating revenues, while maintaining the relationships that we've built in the enterprise software development world, maintaining the relationships that we've built and reputations that we've built around the fundamental beliefs of how blockchain gets utilized and deployed in the real world for commerce and government and other purposes that are not necessarily just attached to crypto. And I think that we did a very, very good job of that. You know, we have great friends in the industry. We are well known as a respected US-based, publicly traded player in the space, and we get requests for information, requests for consultation, requests for bids very consistently for No Borders Labs and for the blockchain and that kind of arena. So with that, we moved up our products deployments. And what we've started with and what you guys see out there is physical products businesses. We do have the focus on the software deployments. We have focus on acquiring and deploying SaaS products, software as a service products, primarily B2B would be our primary focus there. We do have some focus on building out some technological solutions for in-vertical solutions in the verticals that we play with and attack. And so with that, we rolled out No Borders Naturals, which makes these absolutely wonderful CBD products. We have an incredible product line. We have just launched our wholesale program, which is designed to bring those products into retail and engage directly with retailers, engage directly with distribution groups. We are working nonstop on that. We've staffed that. We have people doing outbound engagements. We have people doing distribution engagements literally around the world. As I mentioned, I think on the last video, Francine Hardaway was, and I believe she just got back, or she may still be in England, but she was just in England, and she was, some of that time that she was there, she was working on meeting with some distributors, some European distributors who have an interest in the product line and who reached out to us before and we spoke to before. And we were just lucky enough to have Francine be boots on the ground there, and was going to be there anyway. So took a few cycles and had those meetings. Those are the kind of things that are really impactful for us as we move forward and as we grow and as we scale. Every distribution agreement that we get, every new retailer that we get adds just one more chink in the armor for the business. And No Borders Naturals has phenomenal reorder rates. We've built an entire direct-to-market events business there, pop-up stores that go around the country. We've had fantastic engagement, fantastic success there. The product line looks beautiful. The products are fantastic. And we're solving problems in real time for real world businesses. And I think, again, different by design. We still have our roots and our core operating structures in a remote work, lean operating, technology focused model. We're using those tools. We're using those data-focused decision-making processes. We're using those lean operation ideologies to impact these different sales models inside of these verticals. We have an e-commerce direct-to-consumer sales model on No Borders Naturals. We have a business-to-business wholesale model on No Borders Naturals. We have a direct-to-consumer pop-up store model on No Borders Naturals. We have an affiliate model on No Borders Naturals. Each of those models takes its own marketing focus. It takes its own data set, its own user profiles, its own consumer profiles. There's all of these pieces that go in there, and those are all technologically handled, and those are all technologically, targeted, and our results show that is working. And that's part of what this process is, right? We couldn't come to market and say, we believe that we're qualified to run a bunch of different companies all at the same time. Hope you guys think so too. That's a really hard thing to say. It's much, much, much harder to prove. And so what we did is we're working on proving it. And I think that we've done a good job of that. No Borders Naturals has a fantastic product, top of the line. I'll take the Pepsi Challenge against anybody else's CBD product line on the market today. I think we hold our own. I think we win. And I bet we're priced at a better price point. That's a pretty good combination. That's a combination that I feel comfortable scaling. That's a reality that we can take and sit down in front of real players, in front of large organizations. One of the things about the Platform Sales Task Force, they're focused on not just things like Amazon, not just things like eBay, but like RangeMe. RangeMe is a distributor portal, right? This is where buyers go for C-stores and for high-end salons and CVS or whatever. Right? So pharmacies and all these kind of things. These are the areas where what we do and how we focus what we do and how we deploy a full team strategically really has to be shown. And as an investor, you're sitting there and you're going, okay, show me. Cool. MediDentSupplies.com. Medical and dental equipment, primarily dental, primarily focused on an e-com business model, primarily run with a drop ship model. And we've brought it to market. We've brought it to market aggressively. It's branded separately from the company. We did that on purpose. The purpose of that was I needed to be able to showcase to our own team and to our interested shareholders and stakeholders and just interested parties that we could manage and message and maintain and grow no matter what the name was. That's part of the strategy here, because a big part of our focus on how we grow, not just these businesses, but the other verticals that we're interested in, is through acquisitions. That's one of the reasons that we decided to be a listed publicly traded company, was so that we had the elasticity to do acquisitions, and we had the balance sheet that was expandable and that we could utilize to buy amazing accretive assets. And this allows us to kind of prove that out and say, look, we were able to bring No Borders Naturals, an internally branded line, to market with great product variants, with great product depth, with beautiful packaging, with beautiful marketing, with beautiful messaging, with multiple sales models. We were able to do that while bringing MediNet Supplies to market in a totally different vertical, with a totally different sales model, with a totally different name, right? Now, you'll see some of the same colors, right? So we have one brand identity kit. We have one set of fonts and one set of colors, and it's used all the way across our spectrum. Anything that you see, whether it's No Borders Naturals or MediNet Supplies, is going to have the same color palette. They're going to have the same font palettes. You will see a brand connectivity across the spectrum of what we do as we move forward. But it's subtle, and it doesn't have to be about the name. And proving out that we can operate multiple brands in multiple verticals at the same time while scaling both, while having compounded returns on both, while really grabbing the market share out there, is something that we wanted to bring to market and stand up and say, we're doing that, we did it, we're going to continue to do it, and it works, and here's the other ancillary benefits that go to it. We're doing that. We did it. It's in market. And by the way, there's some really cool ancillary benefits that go into this. And as we've started to grow these things, we run into more and more and more of those benefits, right? We are driving down our product acquisition costs on No Borders Naturals. We are expanding our products lines on MetaNet Supplies. We are expanding the level and type of customer engagement that we have in all of these verticals. You know, we have a major focus this quarter on No Borders Naturals wholesale or distribution, kind of wholesale either way, and on MetaNet Supplies, you know, enterprise level, government level orders. We were really happy to, you know, get an enterprise level order, to get an order through to AT Stills University. We supplied them with a bunch of these really special custom equipment pieces that they needed that they just weren't able to find anywhere else. You know, they called their regular suppliers. Everyone was like, "Oh, I don't think it does that. I don't think it does this." And we made that happen. You know, we made it work, and we got a custom order built, and had, you know, there was 2 teams of engineers that had to figure it out, like one on the manufacturing side, one on AT Still's side, and all those things that had to happen. But, you know, getting through that process really showed us that we are at a point, at an organizational point, where we can not only manage that sales process, we can manage that engineering process, we can manage that delivery process, we can manage that follow-through process after the fact. And that was a point that I personally wanted to make sure we were at. And that was a point that I wanted to feel comfortable at before we came out to you guys and talked about government sales and talked about university level sales. And so we did that, right? We went all the way through that. We had already cashed the check from AT Stills University for that order before we talked about it in the market and said, hey, we're launching this government and enterprise division in MetaNet Supplies. To date, we have dozens of RFPs from government and universities around the USA that we are reviewing. We have multiple that have already been fully completed, and at least one that I know of that has been submitted. So we have attacked that aggressively. We have a fantastic team of people that are working on it and focused on it. Nick Harrington does a phenomenal job of, you know, herding cats around those things. He really is just an incredible guy. And thank you, Nick, for everything that you do. We appreciate you. But he's running a great team of people. And so elevating that level of business, maintaining our attack on the consumer end, maintaining our attack on the digital end, maintaining our attack on the SEO work, maintaining our attack on intellectual property, and then also going out and attacking larger government and university style equipment contracts and supply contracts is what we believe MetaNet needs in order to move forward this quarter impactfully and onward from there. And we feel very good about it. We have some success already with it, and we're aggressively attacking that. Part of the trick here, right? Part of the magic trick is none of these individual brands, not NBDR, right, as a communication cycle and a publicly listed company and investor relations, not No Borders Naturals by itself with the products that it has and the needs that it has, not MetaNet Supplies, not No Borders Labs, not No Borders Education, No Borders Funding, these different pieces of our puzzle, none of these things by themselves could really justify us going to a couple of graphic designers and saying, hey, we need a great deal. And the reason why is we're going to keep you really busy and you're going to stay super, super busy consistently, but we need a really, really good deal. Writers, video people, the people that are going to fix this thing that I recorded, right? Coders, software developers, front end, you know, graphic designers, video, all of these various people we have the ability to go to and say, hey, we're going to keep you really busy because we need graphic design for 4 things all at the same time. Hey, we're going to keep you really busy because we need content and blog articles and all these other pieces for all these different things, right? We need IR, you know, content. We need MetaNet Supplies dental content. We need No Borders Natural CBD wellness content all the time. It gives us the power to drive our costs down, to keep people busier, to engage people at a deeper level than we would get if it was a one-off design here and a one-off design there and a label design here. And so we're able to scale our power, we're able to drive our costs down, and we're able to get really fast reaction times and really fast input from a dedicated team of people. And that is really what we bring to the table when we're talking to a new investor. We file our filings as early as we can. Currently, based on the information that I have, I believe we will be filing quite early is what I'm shooting for, at least a week or two early than the deadline. The deadline is August 15th. So we're aggressively working to finish that up on our quarterlies as a publicly traded company. And we work very hard on communications. We work very hard on responsiveness. We work very hard on customer fulfillment and customer success. Some of our favorite Twitter followers and shareholders, like Andrew, some of them had received product from us that had melted, right? And we had found out about it right before they told us, but they told us as well, which we appreciate. We were able to not only fix that for them and get them product back that they had ordered, but we were able to dig back in, find a solution, an affordable solution that could be deployed in real time to keep those products cool in transit, keep those costs low, keep that product in good shape, and boom, now we've fixed an issue that a lot of our competitors are having in the CBD space, and we believe that we fixed it in a quick, easy, and affordable way. And so far, since then, it's been about 2 weeks since we took those actions. I don't think that we've had a single product problem with the heat. And it's been hot. It's been getting hotter. So those are the pieces that our team brings to the table that's really, really impactful. And we're able to bring it across the spectrum of the things that we're doing. And we do it through technology. All of these tasks, all of these projects, all of these pieces are all managed in a project management system. All of our communications are managed in a contact management system. All of our wholesale customers and all of our RFPs for universities and government and military and things like that, they're all kept in a CRM system. We have all of the data from all of these things interconnecting. We have all of our email engagement, re-engagement, digital tracking, user profiling. It's a fantastically complex, simple operation. Great customer service, good price points, fantastic products, delivered to people, shared with people, re-delivered to people, re-shared with people. That works. And our results currently show that it works. We were able to really impact first quarter revenues over what we did last year. We were able to really impact second quarter revenues over first quarter revenues. Those will be out very, very soon with our quarterly. We have a strong start going for Q3. We are on track to crush. We're having a great time, and we are absolutely charging forward on all of these fronts. At the same time, we have extremely limited dilution. We don't have any convertible debt, variable convertible debt. I apologize, variable convertible debt. The only convertible debt we do have is fixed rate convertible debt from friendly investors. These are people that gave us, that invested capital with us. Friends and family, accredited investors who invested capital with us on a note whose conversion was, in some cases, out of the money, where the share price was lower on the day than what they were agreeing or right there. It was between 1.8 to 2 cents, so it was pretty close. But the point being that the people who have have invested the capital with us for the operations that we're doing, for our ability to scale this thing out directly, they have invested in structures that are very beneficial to them and affordable to the company, but they're not toxic to us, and they're nowhere near as aggressively beneficial as they could be if we were trying to go get that money from, penny stock guys out on the East Coast or down in Florida or something, right? These are not toxic death spiral, 50% off, pound your stock to death convertible notes. These are fixed rate convertible notes. So we know exactly what the dilutionary effect of these notes is long-term. We know exactly what our cost of capital is on that. On those notes, we're paying cash interest for them, right? So we're using that capital to generate more capital inside the operating companies and taking the rewards from that, paying cash on the interest so that we're not compounding the dilution later. It's a big difference. It's a big difference in the way that most OTC market penny stock companies can get money or do get money. You know, there's a big difference between how most reverse mergers happens and what we did. We acquired and voided most of the aged debt. And the aged debt that we couldn't acquire, the guy converted at a penny on the dollar. He could have got 500 million shares. He took 5 million. And he has since exited that position, he let us know. So he accepted, and that, by the way, has been the only float difference since the day we acquired No Borders to today. The day we acquired No Borders, it had 22 million and something float. We added 5 million to that with the settlement with the note holder, and it went to 27 million, and it's been sitting there ever since. Now, the dilution that we do have, we have paid people in equity. We have paid, but that's all restricted common stock. There's all, not just the hold periods on those, but most of those people are what we consider to be very friendly, and they are looking at this as a long-term investment right alongside us. I own a lot of shares. My family owns a lot of shares. Chris Brown owns a lot of shares. Cynthia Tanabe owns a lot of shares. We're as vested in this for our financial returns and for our family's wealth and long-term success as any of the investors are, as any of our stakeholders are. And we have worked very, very hard to show you that we can bring products to market impactfully, that we can build a brand impactfully, that we can do those things in multiples at the same time while staying current on a pubco, while staying active on all of our social medias, on all of our communication cycles, while never missing a shareholder update video in a year and a half. And during that, we're building systems, we're testing new things always, we're launching new platforms, we're staffing, we're growing, we're expanding. It's a great, big, fun ball of magic, and we're having a great time doing it. We have to prove ourselves over and over and over and over. We know that. I know what the rules are here. I know that we decided to be a listed company, and so we have a responsibility to show up every quarter, and we're going to have all the people on Twitter going, drop the financials. No, it's cool. I get it. A, I will as soon as I can. As soon as the minute they're done, beep, send. But B, the fact of the matter is that 5 minutes after I do that, you're going to be talking about the next quarter's financials. Let's be honest. And I don't blame you, right? That's the game I signed up to play. I signed up to play it because I believe in this being our vehicle. I believe in this being the vehicle that we use to do acquisitions, to scale brands, to scale businesses, to deploy technologies. Have a great time doing it. We're having a great time. I love the people that I'm working with. I love the projects that I'm working on. I love everything about what we're doing. The CBD line that we have it's fucking incredible. It's incredible. It's sharing it with people is one of the greatest things ever. And I have the honor of playing a game at a level that I've always wanted to play it at. And I know I'm a big dork, and that's cool. But the fact of the matter is that I have always wanted to play in the public company arena. I've always wanted to play the deal-making game. It's something that I love. It's something that is in my blood, and it's something that I believe that I'm good at. My results kind of support me on that. And I've got the team to pull it off. I have the most amazing people, and we're attracting really fantastic talent. and we're growing. And we're not just growing in esoteric way. We didn't add 100,000 Twitter followers and yeah. No, like we're growing. We're growing like people spent more money with us than they did before. We reached more customers at a lower cost point. We got 10,000 views on an NBDR shareholder update video instead of 50. By the way, just a caveat note on that, because I do want to be totally transparent. Those 10,000 views were not organic. We are promoting that video, targeting that video in a promotion. So just so y'all understand, that is a promoted number, but I want to be very transparent. I just saw the data. We spent about $200. We spent about $200. So y'all can go do the math, but 10,000 views for $200 targeted to OTC investors with a 10% final view rate. That means that roughly 1,000 people that we targeted watched about 32 minutes of me doing this. And I feel bad for you guys now having to sit through. No. I'm honored that you guys take the time, honestly. I mean, I watch these after I do them because I just got to go back through and go, did I say, like, I know I just said the F word like 5 minutes ago, so somebody's going to call me out on it. I'm a California kid, So, yeah, we're adults. We talk like adults, but I try to keep these pretty PG-13. I think I've done a good job of that so far. We're having a great time. We're having a great time. We have multiple IPs pieces that were just published in the Gazette. We have this IP piece that was already sent back. We have more in the channel. We have multiple bids out on blockchain projects from No Borders Labs. We have multiple bids out on really interesting medical and dental equipment RFPs that are out from around the country. We have aggressive wholesale work and engagement and everything going on in No Borders Naturals. We have brand growth. We have sales growth in all of these areas, and I feel really, really, really grateful to be here on the journey with you guys. I am stoked to have the opportunity to do this. I really am. I'm humbled and I'm grateful. We've been very careful to have as clean a balance sheet as we can have. We've been very careful to be very mindful and very conscious of how we take capital, how we deploy that capital. I believe our results speak for themselves now, and that was something that I don't feel like last year I could sit down and say. We knew what we wanted to do. We knew how we wanted to get there, but some doors remained closed. And we had to move around a little bit and pivot around a little bit. And I think we did that successfully. I think that we are in a fantastic position as a company, as a group of organizations. I think we're in a fantastic position from a staffing and expertise perspective. And, the sky's the limit. We're working really, really hard. And we are selling products to people in the real world every single day. And afterwards, they still like us and they come back and they want to buy more stuff from us. So, as far as metrics go for how could I sit down and look at a company from the outside and say, is this a company that has a future? Is this a company that has put itself in a position to win in its markets? I believe that we've done that. I believe that we're continuing to do that. And I'm hella proud of the team. I do want to give a shout out to our new controller, Mr. Chris Garcia. Fantastic guy. I mean, this guy's just absolutely amazing. Being able to feel comfortable as we move forward scaling, that we really have somebody with a depth of scaled financial compliance and accounting and expertise there is so fantastic for us. Being able to run out projections and being able to run out projected costs and projected revenues and all these different pieces for us really gives us a much more granular look at that data that we're already compiling. So, again, we're going to be filing Q3 or Q2 early as we can. We're strong start into Q3. Things are going well. Mr. Garcia, Cynthia Tanabe, Brian, all of these guys on the financial team, Andrew Coldicut helping us get the financials prepped and everything else, have all given me really positive feedback. They feel like we've got great control of everything. They feel like we really accounted for all of the different moving pieces, and there were a lot of them last quarter. And so that puts us in a really strong position to have a really clean, clear, and early OTC quarterly filing for Q2. So that is coming. I will keep you all updated on that as I get more information and as we get closer. Again, we're shooting to be a week or two early on that filing. But yeah, we're having a great time. We're working hard. Thank you guys for your attention. Thank you for paying attention to us. As always, follow our YouTube channel. You can find me on Twitter at NBDRCEO. I'm Joe Snyder. Have a great summer.